got me handsome. Hold 'em up like we came for the ransom. I'm in the field, 2-minute drill. Highlight reel, let's review, what's the deal, okay? Watching footage going out of control. Buckle up, we got an hour to go, so let's go, that's straight heat. Ain't no chillin' around here. Back that back, Nat Chance, how we feelin' around here? Got my whole squad in the building around here. If my name ain't on it, then I really don't care. Come on. 3-point stance, we advance. Ball in my hands, I don't take no chance. Touchdown dance, that's my jam. No hot takes, this is nothing but rants. Nothing but rants. Nothing but rants. Nothing but rants. The beat on the beat, hey. Yeah.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to MBR, or as we like to call it around here, Nothing But Rants, the show where I find topics that I'm oddly passionate about and I pontificate upon them. These are not hot takes, but rather takes that I'm hot about. What's up? You like that? You really like that?
Let's shut up and grind some tape.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome in to the Film Guy Network on a fabulous Tuesday evening here inside the studio. No show Thursday. It is July 4th weekend, which means tonight is indeed last show, best show. Let's see it in the chat. Last show, best show. Got an absolutely loaded one for you guys today. Brendan Sorsby apparently waves the white flag today. We teased Would You Rather last night. We're going to play Would You Rather tonight. All right, so that'll be fun. Apparently somebody wants to bring back ties in college football.
Boo.
Right? I'm not so here for it. We're going to talk about that tonight. As you can tell by the title of tonight's show, Trinidad Chambliss adding a little bit of extra, I guess, salt to the beef that is the Ole Miss LSU storylines going on with Lane Kiffin and whatnot. And we have a recruiting check-in. Somebody's been asking for this, or people have been asking for this in the chat the last couple of nights. So we're going to bring it back tonight with one of the blue bloods, if you will, in college football, recruiting at a really, really elite level, as they have been, I would say, for the last 3 years. 4 years.
They've been really solid doing
under
this for
their
a while.
previous head coach, who was most recently fired at another spot, not to give too much away. They were kind of like a top 12 recruiting entity, if you will. And now they're firmly entrenched inside the top 5. I think they're going to finish inside the top 5 for the 3rd straight year in recruiting. So that'll be fun. Make sure, however, you hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribing if you haven't already. And dang sure, make sure you're telling a friend. If you haven't ran to a friend and said, hey, have you been watching the Film Guy Network? That place is bang up. You need to holler at them and let them know about this place. But make sure right now you're firing off in that chat and certainly hitting that thumbs up button. However, wherever you are watching us right now, we are made readily available on podcast. We should be there tonight. Your boy cleaned up a whole bunch of space on the computer today.
Hell yeah.
Me no ball, me not know computers, okay? Which is actually surprising that we've gotten this far, because we are self-produced. We are self-established around here. Somehow, some way, I figured out all this technology with the help of Max Hardman. And then after that, we haven't had to touch much of it, but every once in a while, the whole system goes haywire, and we got to start from scratch. So things might sound different tonight. Things might look different tonight. The content will be the same. Hope you guys enjoy it. Let's start with the news. Christian Kirby, by the way, welcome in. How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing well.
Wonderful.
Give me these Brendan Sorsby quotes, because apparently he waved the white flag today.
Yeah, so Brendan Sorsby obviously was last week coming out of the NFL saying you're not playing in our league, and then the CFL coming out a few days later and being like, you're not playing in our league. Sorsby's camp and his representation obviously threatened litigation and how they were violating some CBA agreement, even though he wasn't even a part of the CBA. Either way, Brendan Sorsby came out today with a statement that was pretty much him waving the white flag, saying, you know what, I'm done fighting this. I'm done pushing on this. I'll see you all in 2027, and had a pretty long-winded post on his social media feed, which I will read to you all now. Quote, "There's been a lot of news about me out there, and I want to share this statement to make sure things are clear. I accept 100% responsibility for my actions. I did not have control of my gambling problem, and it took me getting caught for me to realize that. But it was truly the best thing that could have happened to me. Because of this, I've been able to get the help I need and fully focus on my recovery. The news about the supplemental draft changes nothing about my recovery journey. I will continue to take it one day at a time, focusing on making myself better throughout this process and making sure to share what I have learned and will continue to learn with others as I go forward. I am fully committed to being the best version of myself that I can be while getting ready for the 2027 draft. God makes no mistakes, and I look forward to seeing the good that is to come from this.
Look, Kirby, I thought about like giving him a round of applause, but I think we should like give this a slight golf
This
clap.
doesn't deserve anything.
You don't think so?
This deserves a finally.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I want to give him a golf clap, because like this should have happened the moment it happened, right? We should have accepted 100% responsibility for our actions the moment it happened. And I think things would have probably gotten a lot better if this would have been the sentiment from him and particularly his camp from Jump Street. Don't you?
Yeah, that was the whole entire, like, I get and understand the idea that we're gonna fight the injunction and all that, whatever. We've seen it work in court before. That's fine. The second Texas Tech told you to walk, and the second that the NFL and all these other schools were like, or programs like, hey, we're not interested, your representation doesn't need to come out and be like, oh, we'll see about that. You better lawyer up, NFL. Like, you've done yourself so much damage. Now, I don't think that he was going to do himself any favors with the injunction. That decision had already been made. I don't think that there's a world where he doesn't entertain that. But if the injunction comes down, or if Texas Tech says, you know what, it's not worth it, and Brendan Sorsby comes out with this, we can go, you know what, you can't blame the kid for trying. You can't blame the kid for, yeah, it's irresponsible to duck your responsibilities, and everyone's going to kind of look at you with side eyes because of how you handled the initial gambling situation. But at that point, it was like, you know what, cut his losses. It felt like he dragged this out way too long to where like the apology tour and the I accept full responsibility, it's a little bit too late for me.
I wish we could give him a little truth serum and ask him how much of this idea to like be a rebel and battle all this and fight it to the tooth and nail was actually Texas Tech.
Oh yeah,
I wonder how much of this was them telling him, "Hey, we can get you off on this. We can handle all this stuff. You just gotta bear with us. We'll go to war for you because we need you to play." And then in the meantime, his PR, just his public image has gone in the tanker, so much so that the CFL didn't want it or to deal with him. So I honestly hope he does continue his help, like he says, and continues this process, because 9,000 bets over and $90,000 is a lot. What tipped me off on we might have an issue was when we're traveling out of state to a professional baseball game where gambling in the stadium is legal, and we're running in between pitches to bet on balls and strikes. That's not that's not normal. You know what I mean? It reminds me of back in the day when I would like get off of work and grab two tall boys and smash them before I got home. So my wife didn't know my drinking clock started. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Yeah. That's the type of things people do when they have addictions. Speaking of which, you have an addiction to gambling, call the number. Very important. But yeah, I think this would have been something that probably, I'm not going to say would have saved him, but we would have gotten the same result with a different image. You know what I mean? Had from the jump, we'd have been like, all right, you're right. I can't play college football anymore. I'm going to seek help. I'm going to go fix this issue. I'm going to get this tamed. I'll see y'all in the 2027 NFL draft. Maybe he's a second, third round pick. You know what I mean? Maybe people just like, he had a problem. He addressed it. Hell, he's a spokesman for the problem now. Look at all the work that he's done in the last year. Instead, we spent the last 3 months doing everything that we can to avoid this, and we got the punishment anyway. So would have imagined we could have gotten to this a little bit easier or a little bit better had we just accepted responsibility from Jump Street, which is probably the overarching lesson for everybody. Like the thing to do is just step up and accept the responsibility and then start the process of rebuilding the image as soon as possible. Yeah. Start the process of rebuilding your own daily habits as soon as possible, not trying to duck everything so you can play ball again.
And that's the funniest part about this for me is like there's a world where let's even say where Texas Tech does not end up saying they fight tooth and nail. Brendan Sorsby ends up playing. They're fine with dealing with all legal litigations and all the things of the Big Ten and all these other schools blackballing Texas Tech. They go through with all of it. Brendan Sorsby plays in 2026. The NFL still doesn't want to touch him at that point.
Yeah.
Like, you did so much damage to your career at that point from this. Like, and I don't know if anyone even considered that. Of like, hey, you might be able to play in the NCAA this year. That doesn't mean the NFL is going to want you. That doesn't mean so. Like,
I find it very interesting that like we haven't heard from Sorsby at all until Texas Tech was like, I'm done with that fight. You know what I mean? Texas Tech was on the front of this. Texas Tech's people, I should say, were on the front of this. Their primary booster, their head coach, their athletic director, whoever was on that goofy podcast panel that they had, all of them were going to war for this kid. Meanwhile, he's sitting in the corner just being told to shut up, be quiet, don't say anything, don't draw any more attention to this situation. And then the moment the Big 12 lawyer's up and it's like, no, we're going to wax you in court with Sidney Austin, one of the biggest law firms in the world. Then Texas Tech was like, we'll see you, bud. Thank you. And now Sorsby's left to kind of pick up the shambles all by himself is the way it feels like to me. So highly doubt it's the last time we talk about this story. I'm kind of exhausted on it.
Yeah, hopefully for a while at least.
Yeah, hopefully for a while. But this is the last, hopefully, statement we hear until 2027. I guess we should ask, like, what's he going to do? What would you do? If you couldn't play ball, what would you do?
I'd be working my ass off at any quarterback camp I could. I'd be working with any trainer. I'd be posting as many social media videos as I could
of you working out.
Making sure I stay in front of eyes and stay relevant throughout this year because there's not going to be any tape for me.
I'd hire that guy that's filming all these high school quarterbacks that keeps zooming in as soon as the ball leaves the fingers and makes everybody look like a god throwing the ball.
Looks like
get that guy.
Lasers.
Yeah. Get that guy. There's a dude here in Atlanta now. He's got a bunch of guys that can spin the hell up out the football. But my God, if you just watch the social media clips, you'd think every kid's got the flick of the wrist like Michael Vick. I mean, seriously, the nuances with the cameras we're doing lately is just bonkers. Speaking of trends that I'm tired of, can we stop AI swelling up our quarterbacks? That trend done?
I do appreciate how it's gotten to an ironic standpoint. Like at first it was like we're slightly altering it to make them look a little bit bigger, and now they're just like 400-pound meatheads where their muscles aren't even fitting on the screen.
The only fan base that I thought did this trend the right way was, believe it or not, the South Carolina Gamecock fan base that tweeted photos of Lenore Sellers and was like, my quarterback don't need AI. Look at this freak, because he is.
Yeah.
He looks like some of them images that people are messing with the artificial intelligence to get to. So, yeah, I'm done with the let's put on 60 pounds of AI muscles on my quarterback and get 600 likes on the Twitter machine. That trend exhausted itself pretty quickly. Speaking of exhausting trends, shout out to Freddie. I know it's a sidebar here.
He shut it down.
He shut his account down. People found out that he'd already come to America. I think it was a hoax. I think he was a plant.
There's something fishy going on about it. I honestly
don't really care.
I don't care enough to dive into it.
I don't really care, but man, my timeline was just inundated with that guy.
I will say the first few days where it was like, man, this German person. Yeah, it was like it was very wholesome. Then it was kind of like,
now we're talking about how like the streets of Ohio make you like love America, and I'm like, all right. Well,
it was also like he's meeting celebrities and stuff. He's like, this is not the average American experience. Like this is very much like you're becoming a celebrity. So yeah, didn't love it, but I appreciate it for a few days.
Kirby, we got extra beef.
We got some extra beef.
We got titled extra beef tonight. We're talking about it. Trinidad Chambliss responds to them Lane Kiffin comments. For those of you who don't remember, Lane Kiffin said no black kids wanted to play for him at Ole Miss. Did I paraphrase that correctly?
They were uncomfortable being recruited and coming to Oxford.
That's right. Parents did not want to send their kids to Oxford. That's what he said, because it's Oxford, Mississippi, and, okay. What did Trinidad Chambliss respond to today? What did he say?
Yeah, so obviously this was a big story a while ago, and I don't know where he was asked about this or if it was a specific outlet, but he basically offered his rebuttal to it and his kind of response to Lane Kiffin's comments about it. So his comments are, the people of Mississippi and Oxford showed me nothing but love. One thing that I can really take away from my visits, and the reason why I did commit to Ole Miss, is I asked my family what they genuinely thought about the visit, what they thought about the people, if they trusted what they're actually saying, if they're going to be true to their word. They said, I feel like this is the right place. And my mom is super religious too, and she just had a good feeling. We prayed on it, and that was the main thing. So I felt like Oxford is home, and it's a great place.
All right, so I should go back and reiterate that Kiffin did not bring up race directly, but he did say that when recruiting players, he says, parents say, hey, coach, we really like you, but my grandparents aren't letting me move to Oxford, Mississippi. That doesn't come up when you say Baton Rouge, Louisiana. All right, which obviously everybody connoted. He must be talking about young black athletes not wanting to go to Oxford, Mississippi.
Yeah, and I mean, he also kind of alluded to and mentioned like the Confederate monuments and ties that Ole Miss had to the Confederacy, which is, you know, a whole other thing and valid as it may be. We've talked about that ad nauseum, but Trinidad Chambliss kind of offered his rebuttal on it, so I feel like that was kind of interesting.
The Oxford community is nothing but love, and they care about their people no matter what they look like: brown, black, purple, yellow. You know what I mean? He forgot the orange. He went a little Herman Boone on us right there.
Yeah,
a little Herman Boone. For anybody who's ever watched Remember the Titans, that is one of those, like, I don't care if you're black, white, purple, or orange. Offense on that bus, defense on that bus. Get really, really comfortable with the man that you are sitting next to, because he will be your roommate for the remainder of camp. Kirby, top 5 football movies. You want them?
Oh, this will be good. Let's hear it.
Top 5 football movies. Now, this is mine, okay? You might disagree. That's okay. Here are my top 5. I got to know OLI.
I'm shocked by
Of course, I got to know
one
OLI.
or just
OLI number 1, Little Giants.
That's a good football
It's a good
movie.
one. It's a really, really good movie. I like The Express.
Is that the
It's the movie about Ernie Davis.
Ernie Davis movie?
Yeah, it's
That's
the
a
movie
good
about
movie.
Ernie Davis of Syracuse.
Yeah.
Was the first black man to win the Heisman, right? Is that correct?
Maybe.
I love the movie. It's a really, really good movie. Also, worth a shout, Invincible. Invincible is a good football movie.
Mark Wahlberg
Yes,
movie?
Mark Wahlberg. He plays Vinny. What was Vinny's last name? Papali.
Papali.
Vincent Papali is his name. Also, not really. I mean, it's a football movie. They play about 6 minutes worth of football, but that's more of a love story mixed with football and Mark Wahlberg doing his thing. But the scene where they're playing football with the lights of the car, kind of sick. You know? All right, number 5, The Water Boy. Got to be on this
Great
list.
football movie.
Number 4, Friday Night Lights. I love it.
Good movie.
Yeah. I'm going to knock you out in a pair of flip-flops. Love that. The Longest Yard's number 3 for me.
Which one?
Obviously the one with Adam Sandler.
Okay, see, you say obviously like it's some...
Yeah, see, you're into the going back and watching movies from 1965. I don't think any of them hold up.
I think it was like 72. And the Burt Reynolds one is actually pretty good.
I don't think any movie prior to 1980 really holds up for me.
Oh, wow.
And look, that's I don't know why. I can't. The
first Rocky?
Timelines are way slower.
The first Rocky?
Okay,
dude?
so the first Rocky's a good movie. I've seen it.
The second Rocky?
It holds up. Okay, maybe I'm wrong on this in a sense, but for me, no. Like after 1980, I probably don't like, especially action movies. I'm definitely not.
All right, well, action movies are.
But no, the Replacements with Adam Sandler is a classic.
Well,
there are so many different quotes.
The Replacements is Keanu Reeves.
That's coming up next on number 2 for me. The longest, spoiler alert, The Longest Yard is classic. It's filled with so many. Adam Sandler's with so many quotes.
It's a very well done movie. Like if you're gonna redo an original movie, make it kind of tongue in cheek, make it a comedy. Because the first one was like it had funny moments. It was also like more of a drama.
I think one of my favorite quotes in that movie is when he's in that he's in that cop car chase, and he asked the little short police officer if he gets XM radio with them ears. That's a good one. And I think that's Dan Patrick's first debut on an Adam Sandler movie.
Perhaps
he plays the other police officer. You know, there's some good quotes in that movie. Number 2, which by the way, that's all like movies for me. If they're quotable, that's why I like them. If me and my buddies said things from that movie our entire childhood, that's why they're up there.
That's fair.
This next movie, not as quotable, but I love The Replacement.
Yeah,
with Keanu Reeves movie. And is he English? The Scottish kicker, the cigarette smoking kicker,
yeah,
and the egg eating offensive lineman, and the lunatic playing linebacker. There's just so many great characters in that movie. The scene where they all get in a bar fight and then they're singing in the jail.
Mm-hmm.
This is a great movie. Number 1, Remember the Titans.
Yeah, it's fair. It's a pretty obvious one. I'm surprised you didn't have We Are Marshall on there, which isn't really a football movie.
If I ever got to interview Matthew McConaughey, I want to know why he pointed the entire movie like this. Go back and watch We Are Marshall. The whole entire time, he's like,
maybe
doing this.
Maybe that's how the coach did it.
I'm sure maybe he's got a portion of method acting in him, but I couldn't, for the life of me, stop looking at him doing this the entire movie when he's talking to his players. And I'm like, all right. But it's a very, very good movie. Is We Are Marshall.
Also, you said movies before 1980 don't hold up. You love Smokey and the Bandit.
Yeah, you're right. I do. All right, so I'm flawed. I'm flawed in my analysis here. That's okay.
But no, I think that's a fair list. I would say honestly, football movies aren't my favorite.
Really?
Like if you're gonna make a football movie, like the
you're
water.
a big game plan guy.
Here's why. That's also not really there's like 10 minutes of football in that movie. If you're gonna make
The Rock can't really play quarterback.
Nah, I mean he was a running quarterback. Like that was part of the thing. Either way, if you're gonna make a football movie, you can't make it like dramatic and like the game can't be the dramatic and serious part, in my opinion, just because it's so the suspension of disbelief you have to have is so like any football scene is like I don't really buy that.
I don't know. 44 dive with a backside George reverse. It looked pretty good.
Yeah, but
except for the obvious chop block at the end of that.
Right.
Like, you can't do that. Not even in the 60s. You couldn't just. Well, yeah, you could actually.
You could.
Yeah, you could. It held up.
I'm surprised you didn't have The Blind Side either. It's not a great movie.
It's not. It's not a great movie at all.
It's a touching story.
And hindsight,
fake, but
it's not touching. The story's not touching at all. The hindsight of what the Tuohys did to that kid, no part of that is touching.
Yeah, no.
Every part of that is scandalous. Every part of that is gross. Every part of that is like modern day handling is what that is. So no, I despise that movie.
An underrated football movie is Greater. The Brandon Brolsworth story. Highly recommend watching that one if you haven't.
What's the movie where the coach makes the fat offensive lineman carry his teammate on his back and bear crawl the whole movie?
I think that's Facing the Giants.
Facing the Giants.
Yeah, that was a good movie too.
It's a good movie.
Decent.
Are you a Friday Night Lights movie guy or TV show guy?
I preferred the movie, but I didn't like I said, I didn't love either one of them.
Yeah.
They're good, but it's also like
there's only 2 carryovers from the movie: The Wife and Buddy Garrity, right?
I believe so. I don't know enough about
the movie to the TV show. I've watched Friday Night Lights through once. Don't think I'll go back.
Yeah, it's like that. It's
Waterboy was on the list. It was number 5. Oh, Radio's a good movie.
Is Radio a football movie though? Like just because the movie has football in it.
I couldn't tell you a single scene from that movie of football though. You're right.
Him at practice and but like I don't call that a football.
Gridiron Gang, good movie.
That is a good movie.
Not Liar top 5 worthy for me. Though the scene in there where the guy was like claiming to be a quarterback and he's like in the middle of the game, he's like, I thought you played before. It's like, yeah, I'll be playing on Madden.
Yeah.
North Dallas 40, my grandfather made me watch that back in the day. Rudy is so overrated.
Not a great movie.
And like 6 football scenes.
Yeah, there's not. I remember watching that as a kid.
I mean, there's more scenes of him in the coal mine than there are him playing football.
Yeah, because I remember as a kid being like, "Oh, it's a football movie," and then you tune into it, and it's like, college. This is stupid. I was like 10, but it's fine. A good underdog. Another one of those where it's been like overinflated so much.
Yeah, Any Given Sunday would have been a whole hell of a lot better if the producer or the maker of that movie wasn't very clearly, obviously. That movie is so bonkers.
Yeah.
That movie is almost 2.5 hours long, I think, and half of it is just aerial helicopter shots of Miami. It's just like, hey, I need another one of those, you know. But the speech he inch or whatever the speech is. All right, enough of that. Kirby, it made it on our show notes that somebody wants to bring back ties.
Yeah, so I saw this.
Why in the hell would they want this?
So it's someone in the New York Times. The writer of this article, his name is Ralph D. Russo, and he's basically romanticizing the era of college football when the game used to end in a tie, and talks about how the suspension. One of the excerpts I have from it is perfect. Friends, college football needs to bring back ties. These ambiguous and at times confusing results have gotten a bad rap. They are not to scourge or to be eradicated, as they were by major college football in the mid-90s, but an anomaly to be embraced. Their existence unlocks a whole new level of strategy and analysis while upping the potential for chaos. And basically what this article is, I read so you didn't have to, by the way, is him referencing how unique it is that instead of in the final moments of a game, coaches are fighting to win or to whatever, instead just going for a tie. It very much romanticizes the era of like early 90s, mid 80s, early beforehand football, and how interesting it would be, like, say if Texas and Ohio State tied last year instead of winning. I think it's a very flawed argument. I guess it's kind of one of those, like, man, that's cool to think about, but the execution of it, nobody enjoys a tie. And I think that's the entire reason why overtime was created, where if you go the entire week building up from a game, you are at the environment, all of the suspension of it, the game starts, and you walk away from it and going, well, we didn't win or lose. It's the most unsatisfying conclusion to anything. Like, a tie is the epitome of a open end in a book or a movie, where it's like, you have to decide for yourself what happens.
The screen just went dark.
Yeah, dude. Like, tell me what. Give me the good news or the bad news. I don't want these ambiguous ties that complicate records and all these things.
A tie would piss me off just as much as the ending of How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, I heard that's not good.
Just kind of heart-wrenching, to be honest with you.
Oh.
Yeah. You just kind of go through the whole thing expecting to meet the mother, realize what just happened. Yeah, not ideal. I don't think ties are ideal either. And I think his point was that these things weren't controversial. They were controversial, but they also gave us more talking points.
Yeah,
and
like
that was the fun part.
It gives us more data sets.
Like, debate these things, and it created chaos and debates and arguments where is Georgia Tech the 1990 champion, or is the Colorado Buffaloes the 1990 champion? I think was even in that article. And I'm
reference that.
Buddy, that's not good for the sport.
No.
I don't know what. I know you were alive back then, but I wasn't. And I'm going to tell you right now, the idea that Ohio State and, I don't know, Michigan could claim the 2024 title together, like, no, that's not what I want going on. I want a clear, defined winner. My rule is play till somebody can't in football games like that. Sometimes I don't even like the 2-point conversion stuff that we, where like, it used to be that, right? Where
it's still that.
Yeah, I don't like that. I line it up at the 20, play a full possession. That's the way I want overtime to be played. I want the actual game to be played.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate that. I think the player safety and all those things was counted into that.
I understand player safety.
And I will say that there is a point where it's like, all right, this football game needs to end. There needs to be some finale to that. Like, by the time you get to like the 6th overtime, everyone's kind of like, all right, at this point, I don't even care anymore who wins. So I understand that type of logic, but that happens once a season if you're lucky, where it's like a game takes 4.5 hours to be completed.
And by the way, some of those are the most legendary football games.
Yeah.
Like LSU Ole Miss went to like 6 overtimes one time.
LSU and Texas A&M went to like 7. That was actually the game that got the rule changed. Mm-hmm. But like, perfect example of like the 2024 SEC championship. Oh, that game ended in a tie, so now Georgia and Texas are co-SEC champions. Like, the idea of chaos is fun, But chaos where you have to, it completely destroys the rigidity of the system. I don't like. So
Chad said, bro went to Fordham and lives in the Bronx. What does he know about football? Fordham's the home of Vince Lombardi, baby. That's where he got his coaching career started. The Fordham Rams, they knew ball back in the 20s. So don't sleep on the Fordham Rams. They just haven't really played ball since. But yeah, that's the birthplace of Vince Lombardi. Don't be out here hating on the Fordham Rams. I'm sure high quality education probably a little bit better than I had going on.
Could be. Who knows?
I'm sure Fordham's got a good degree.
I'm not too brushed up on Fordham's education.
Are you locked into the Texas Tech docuseries that's about to come out?
I'm so scared of docuseries now.
Why?
Because they've been so glossed over.
Oh, they've all been fluff pieces.
They've been treated like fluff pieces now. Like, I don't want to hear about like just how great the Florida time. I want to hear about all the scandals. I want to hear what was going on behind scenes there. I don't want to have Urban Meyer talk about his struggles to win championships at Florida. Give me the juicy stuff.
So what's going on with this Texas Tech docuseries?
So apparently
it's Paramount.
It's been revealed that Paramount has been filming and doing some behind the scenes stuff for a Texas Tech docuseries that will be released shortly. And everyone's kind of excited because obviously this coincides with the Brendan Sorsby scandal and everything that's going on there. However, I don't think that that's probably going to be the main focus of it. I think that's probably going to get kind of brushed over.
I thought this was filmed last season.
It might have been.
What it looked like to me.
It might have been. So stuff like that. But yeah, so it got me thinking. And I know you have your own list, but what are some docuseries that you would love to have for teams? I actually have a top 10 list of just teams that I would love to have a full documentary like type of NFL type.
You've got 10 from last year?
No, just in general. 10 teams from my lifetime.
I've got top 5 docuseries that I wish I had in college football.
All right, let's hear yours.
All right, you want a 1 to 5 or 5 to 1?
5 to 1.
All right, you get what you can ask for.
Thank you.
Number 5, and it ought to be titled Reggie's Ransom. All right, I want a full 2-hour documentary on what in the hell Reggie Bush must have done that was so bad that they took his Heisman. Because as someone who was alive then, I was told it was basically an Escalade, an apartment, and some Nikes.
Yeah, I heard shoes.
And they took the man's Heisman from him. I want a full docuseries on that, if only to know what actually happened, but also just to watch 2 hours of unfiltered cut-ups, like school film footage of Reggie Bush out here cutting up. I would sit down and watch a 2-hour mashup of Reggie Bush highlights.
It would certainly play into the legend of Reggie Bush, because like I feel like my generation is kind of the last group of people that really truly understand like the greatness of Reggie Bush. Like everyone younger than me, like they get it, they understand who he is, but they didn't fully grasp it. And I was very young at the time, so I didn't fully grasp it either. But yeah, no, being able to watch that, like it would be kind of like a Last Dance type thing where you relive that and the greatness of that 2005 season that he had.
All right, so have you ever heard of The Scheme?
No, I have not.
There's an HBO documentary, okay? That followed around.
Yes, is this the basketball?
Yeah,
okay, yes.
Basketball frauds. Christian Dawkins. Now, Christian Dawkins, from my memory of watching this documentary, Christian Dawkins was like the OG basketball shoe handler. So Christian Dawkins would linger around AAU events, get very, very close to the top basketball player, and then become his pseudo agent, basically calling and talking to all these other college coaches about how much it would cost to sign a certain player and how much the deal would have to be and all this good stuff. Well, come to find out, the FBI started wiretapping Christian Dawkins' phone because why would the FBI want to get involved? Well, the FBI and the government wanted their cut of the tax money, I would imagine, because all of this unfiltered cash was getting dumped off at the houses of these basketball players. And so the FBI started tapping Christian Dawkins' phone. And what comes to light in that documentary was all kinds of Division I, like big-time legends in the game being wiretapped, basically telling Christian Dawkins, we'll pay you whatever you want. Not to name any names, but the guy that was most notably kind of cast out because of this was Will Wade, the LSU coach. And they had him in the documentary basically saying, I don't give an F what the number is. We'll pay whatever it costs. Now, what HBO didn't do was dime out Bill Self. What HBO didn't do was dime out Coach K. What HBO didn't do was dime out some of the legends in the sport. But if you look it up, those guys were heavily, heavily investigated by the FBI and these wiretaps. They just didn't get brought up in the documentary. I bring this up because I want this. I want the scheme. I want the FBI to get involved and start telling me dirt on college football.
Ooh, so you want like an overarching one.
Huh?
You want like a big
yeah. I want somebody, not all of them, but I just want some dirt. I want the scheme college football edition. That's what I want.
That would be like a 7-day, 15-hour documentary.
Oh, yeah.
There's so much that you'd have to uncover there.
You thought, what was the Michael Jordan Chicago Bulls documentary?
The Last Dance.
You thought The Last Dance was exhaustive? I want that in college football. Number 3. I want, you know how like when they interview drug lords, they like hide their face and change their voice?
Block it out and everything.
Yeah, I want the same thing, but with the McDonald's drive-through operator that was handing out bags of cash to Tennessee volunteer commit. That's what I want. And all I want to know is, how did this get started? Who came through the drive-thru and was like, you know what? I got a side hustle for you. And how often were they coming through the drive-thru to develop such a relationship with you off the street? You know?
Yeah,
I want the full details on that.
I never fully understood like obviously the cash in the McDonald's bags was going on, but were they getting McDonald's bags themselves and like, hey, we got you some food? Were they telling the recruits to pull up to McDonald's and get like order a special thing like you would see in some drug? Like, I don't know how it was all working. From
my understanding, it was like the crack ring that they cracked at the McDonald's that one time. Whereas like if you came up and ordered the Big Mac with extra special sauce, next thing you know, you got 3 vials of crack in your bag. You know what I mean? Like, from my understanding, it was like that. It's like, hey, I show up to the local Knoxville Mickey D's, I order the number 2, hold the bacon, and next thing I know, $100,000 of racks cash right there in my McDonald's bag. I want the whole rundown on how that happened. That's what I want. Number 2, I want an investigative documentary series on Hugh Freeze's time at Ole Miss.
Yes,
I want
that
all the
would
dirt.
be very.
I want all the dirt.
Scandalous.
Oh, it would be so scandalous. Because man, that to this day, I read a lot of. Now we don't get many of these anymore, but when the NCAA used to like crack down on stuff and give people show cause orders and stuff like that, the longest time I'd ever heard for a show cause order was like 4 years. Like Dan Mullen famously got a show cause order for like 2 years.
Correct.
From his own team turning him in. I think Jeremy Pruitt got a 4-year show cause order for the Mickey D's stuff. And a show cause order is where you literally, every time you go interview for a job, you have to bring a piece of paper that shows the causes for which you were suspended or for which you were in trouble, and it lists out the charges that you were given by the NCAA. Kirby, there were assistants on that Ole Miss staff that got 8-year show cause orders. 8 years. It's the most I'd ever heard of in an NCAA investigation. And I can guarantee you right now, it wasn't just for paying players. I would imagine they got caught up with some nasty stuff. And I want it. I want all the deep dives on that right there. And number 1, you kind of alluded to it earlier. I want a real Swamp Kings documentary, not that fluff piece that they gave us. I want the dirt. I mean, for Christ's sakes, the names of the players that they had on that roster, never once did we bring up any of the stuff that they were actually alleged to have been doing. I want the full deep dive on that. And for that matter, the documentary they did on this fellow right here was crap. The whole Untold series is not done very well, I don't think. Now, I understand that nowadays most of these documentaries are done in partnership with the primary subject matter.
Correct.
And in order to get access to Johnny Manziel, you can't be out here airing out Johnny Manziel's dirt. And in order to get access to Urban Meyer, you can't be out here airing out what he did, maybe to keep certain players on teams or whatnot, or get people down there. I want a full deep dive on some of that stuff.
The Swamp Kings documentary was so underwhelming. Like you said, there's so many stories and little tidbits you could go into, and it was basically like, yeah, we had to work out at 1 a.m., and Tim Tebow helped us win championships.
Yeah, he rolled us on the mat until we threw up.
And thank God we won that 2006 year. That was a lot of fun, too. And other than that, it was like,
Kirby,
We're not going to address anything else about this team.
didn't they in that in the one that we're complaining about? Didn't they show footage of a football player basically having a seizure in the middle of a workout?
I think
something like that.
Yeah,
He passed out and fell out.
Yeah, he was like he's falling out,
and they showed that. That made the cutting, or that didn't make the cutting room floor. So what do you think actually did? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's what I want to know. I want full access to some of these things. What do you got for me?
So I've got the 10 teams that I would like to have full season documentaries on, like what we see in the NFL with what's it called, the preseason thing they do with a mini camp and they go behind the scenes.
That would be called Hard Knocks.
Hard Knocks. Thank you. I completely forgot. Like a Hard Knocks type thing where we go throughout the season, we get all the behind the scenes footage. So I did some teams that I thought would just be so much fun to watch. First one is obvious, 2019 LSU. One of the greatest college football teams you're ever going to see. So many stars, so many players making key plays on that. Ed Orgeron would be a lot of fun. Just a documentary of that would be fantastic. Next one I have, 2020 Alabama. In a COVID year with a lot of things going on, it's Nick Saban's last national championship run. You've got Devontae Smith winning the Heisman, a perfect season, all the stuff going on, all the ins and outs that you have to deal with, social distancing and masks at the time. And hey, certain players might not be able to play.
Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields saving the season.
Right. Like it's like a laughing matter now, but it would make for good dramatics to look back on and be like, man, this is such a sign of the times. Number 3, 2013 Florida State, dude. A team with Jalen Ramsey, Devontae Freeman, Jameis Winston, who before he was the loved character he is now, was getting suspended, or I believe this was 2014, but he had some allegations above his head. There were some other things going on. Like a very unique team to watch.
Were we not in the era where anytime something crazy happens, it's filmed by everybody in the area? Like, how is there not cell phone footage of Jameis Winston standing on a table?
Yeah, I don't know.
And screaming. You know?
Yeah,
how is that? How do we not have that?
I don't know. When
did that begin? When did it begin where everywhere you go now, if something happens, the first thing somebody does is go? Was it World Star? Did World Star create this?
World Star existed, but it's also like, if it was like premeditated and he was like, everyone watch this, I'm going to do it. Yeah. It would have been filmed.
But it's probably a pretty quick thing.
If Jameis Winston just stands up on a table and screams that, you don't have enough time to bring your phone out and be like, oh, snap. Like, you have to be expecting it to come. So, yeah, very interesting. Next team I would love to have a documentary on. We talked about this earlier. 2012 Texas A&M. The Johnny football and the birth of that. Which, by the way, did you see clips from the 2012, 2013 seasons? That stadium looks like a high school stadium.
I haven't even noticed. The back at the corner end zone wasn't full.
The corner end zone was not, like, you could see like trees and streets and like the rest of campus.
It is the house that Johnny built.
I mean,
there's no doubt about that.
It truly is.
Yeah.
So just the impact that he had coinciding with all the stuff that was going on with John. And honestly, maybe just a Johnny Manziel documentary in general. 2023 Michigan for obvious reasons. 2025, or excuse me.
I want the Ray-Ban footage.
That would be sweet.
That's what I want.
That would be cool. Like, you get that behind the scenes footage in your documentary.
Maybe I would imagine Connor Stallions at some point releases. I know he did the Untold thing. And it was like a fluff piece on him.
Yeah, like the final 5 minutes of the documentary where him watching the confetti fall. It's like, bro, he's wearing the
talk about his vacuum salesman.
And he's got the shiesty on. He's walking around. It was very weird. Yeah. Very weird. 2023 Florida State. To have that excitement, that build up, and then all of it be taken away, and then obviously the ending of that season and how it is would be a very unhappy ending, but would be very dramatic. Would make for a good reality show. This one would be fun to watch too. 2016 Louisville.
Oh, Lamar.
Yeah. Had a number.
And Donovan Mitchell on campus.
Yeah, number 5 team in the country at one point. Like, competitors. Like, it's the most exciting Louisville football has ever been, and probably is ever going to be. I would have loved to have been there for that and see a documentary. 2017 Oklahoma. Peak Baker shenanigans. You got the flag plant against Ohio State, the crotch grabbing against Kansas, obviously the dramatic Rose Bowl game, the Heisman.
Arrest footage.
Yeah, like all of that stuff. Give me all of that in a documentary. And then the last two, and this one's selfish, 21 Georgia, for my own reason. In 2025, Indiana would be a lot. It would be an interesting one to watch. Probably not the most fun, but seeing how they did everything and seeing the ins and outs of that program and seeing what Kurt Cignetti's like in the coaching staff, would be entertaining.
Would never be allowed.
It wouldn't. And again, this is all.
They won't do it. I don't even think they let other coaches come into their building, from what I've been told. Like Kirby will have whoever wants to come during the offseason. They're allowed to come in, talk ball and talk shop and have general conversations.
Like even
about
if
the
like
machine.
if like John Summerall wants to come in, Kirby's opening the door.
Go that far. But no, I don't even think he'll let like I don't think Indiana will let like Wake Forest come. You know, because they're very.
Yeah, I mean that's why I would want to document, because like Kurt Cignetti is a very mysterious figure. Like does not show emotion a lot. There's a lot of like behind the scenes stuff that we don't know what's going on. It's kind of an interesting thing about Indiana football. Would love to get some BTS of that.
Would you rather?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. By the way, we got mixed reviews yesterday from Oklahoma. I'm okay with it. We got yeah, you're right, and this guy's a hater. Reactions we got from our peer takes.
I mean, that's
about right.
It checks out. Like I said, like college football fans are allowed to be irrational. If you say something that's not glowing about their player, there are probably going to be a lot of them that say, hey, shut the hell up, you're wrong, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, we all think John Mateer is a really good quarterback. I think that the issues that are being presented from his thumb injury were not the issues that caused that. Like that's all we have to say there. So,
all right, let's play a little game of Would You Rather. Start it off, explain what we got going on for the audience.
So basically, everyone knows how Would You Rather works. We're going to name two figures, whether it be a coach, team, situation. Just say, would you rather be in this situation or would you rather be in this one? So I'll get it started off with, would you rather be Mike Norvell or Shane Beamer right now?
If both go 7-5, only one of them's fired, and it's well, I don't know. Shane might get fired at 7-5, but I've been told that if Mike Norvell manages to go 7-5, they'll retain.
Yeah, I mean, it's both like if you had.
But I would much rather have South Carolina's roster.
But would you rather have South Carolina's schedule?
No.
And that's why I think it gets interesting. Like they're both like if you had to pick the two coaches in college football, where it's like, hey, if these guys were to get fired at the end of the year, who would you pick? It's these two. South Carolina has the more talented roster right now. I don't know if I'd want to finish. Like, they're going to go through hell to close out the last 5 weeks of the schedule. Where Florida State, it's not an easy schedule for them, but it's also not like murderer's row. There's some areas where you can build good momentum there. I think Mike Norvell could get a 7-5 and escape that. I think it's all just about how you close it out. Yeah. So I would personally rather be Shane Beamer because I feel like there is an avenue to where we can get 8-4 and surprise everyone. Mm-hmm. I don't know what Mike Norvell is going to be able to do. Like, if you take away the Alabama win from last year, which I think we can all agree based on Florida State's results, a little bit of a fluke, kind of a fluky win. Florida State had a horrible season. So I don't know what you're going to be able to do for Mike Norvell this year. I'd rather be Shane Beamer.
Seems like Mike has a little bit of I don't know if he can see it spinning down when it's spinning down in order to course correct the situation. Right? The first example of this was after they got nixed from the playoffs and he took 7 days going to recruit. He's talked about this openly, where after they got cut out of the playoff, he goes on his recruiting tour or recruiting to finish out the class that year. He comes back and 3/4 of his roster has opted out. And he had no idea, he said, that he didn't realize that it was going to be that bad, that he should have stuck around and talked to his players about it. He kind of just like, dang, that sucks, and then went and recruited and came back and the whole team had blown up basically. But also last year, I don't think there was never a righting of the ship. You remember after they lose to Virginia, they go on the road and lose to Stanford.
Yeah, it was bad.
Like it just no ability to pull the nose up. And that's concerning for a lot of reasons, obviously. I got one for you.
Let's hear it.
Would you rather be Greg Sankey or Tony Petitti? Because for years on this channel, I, the known SEC hack around here, would have scoffed at this question. But now, Tony Petitti's kind of the guy in comparison to Greg right now.
Greg Sankey has taken a handful of L's in the past 2 or 3 years. So I would say I'd rather be Tony Petitti right now because it seems that your conference is much more aligned. Like we had SEC schools talking about how some of them are entertaining the idea of creating their own league and doing some own things. We had SEC schools talking about how they felt misled by going to the 9-game conference schedule. Like, from what I understand, the SEC isn't super thrilled with the job Greg Sankey's done the last year and a half or two. I could be completely misreading that, but Tony Petitti seems to be in a better spot right now.
Yeah, it felt like for the longest time, I would say until about 2 years ago, it felt like that everybody kind of answered to Greg, and Greg kind of set, or I shouldn't say answer to Greg, but Sankey and the SEC kind of set things in motion. Then everybody else had to get in line with them. And now that is the opposite. In fact, we told you during our college football pilgrimage, we went around to all these different college football programs, sat in on meetings, had conversations with ADs, assistant ADs, GMs, head coaches, what we do every offseason now. And somebody, told me that, and it was a mid-major athletic director had expressed to me that, for the longest time, it was kind of the Big Ten and the SEC having their own little meetings and then telling us what it is that they're about to do and then having us catch up with them. And then it became all of a sudden the last 18 months, the Big Ten venturing off into la-la land and the SEC kind of being an intermediary between the non-P4 and the ACC and the Big 12, kind of trying to bring the Big Ten back down towards everybody else. And I think that right there alone explains where the landscape is right now. There is very obviously a much more willingness to spend at the highest rates in the Big Ten than there is the SEC. Also, by the way, their TV contract, slaps yours around in terms of annual dividends given back to certain schools.
Correct.
Hell, I think Ohio State got $98 million last year from the Big Ten for their TV contract, whereas I think SEC schools got 60. You know what I mean? Like that is a vast difference. Now, there's a sliding scale in the Big Ten. It's based off viewership and size of program and eyes brought to the conference, and it's slotted, right? So Ohio State gets more money than Rutgers, which is probably the way it ought to be. I don't think Alabama and Georgia should be getting the same TV cut that Vandy and Mississippi State are. But that's the way it is in the SEC right now, unlike some of these other conferences. Who you got?
Would you rather be Lincoln Riley or Steve Sarkisian right now?
Oh, Steve Sarkisian.
Really?
Steve Sarkisian. Now, he's got all the pressure, but he's actually got the ability, in my opinion, and the roster to go win a national title and should go win a national title or at least play for one. I still think Lincoln, they have like the 4th or 5th best roster in their own league. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I would much rather be Sark than Lincoln. I was going to get there in a second. You weren't going to help me out at all, were you?
I was letting
you were just going to let me waller.
I was letting you get there.
I would much rather be Sark than Lincoln.
Yeah, I think that's. It is interesting though, because if Lincoln Riley and USC go 9-3 this year, that's viewed as like a fairly positive season. If Sark goes 9-3, that's a complete disappointment. People are talking about whether or not he needs to be fired. But you're right, from a talent standpoint, from a aspect of how close you are to winning a national title from your expectations, yeah, Sark's in a better place. But
you reading chat?
Well, yeah, I'd finished my statement too.
Yeah, no, I was reading chat, asking you if you were reading chat.
Yeah,
wondering if we're going to bring what chat's talking about up right now.
We can bring it up in the local.
I'll bring it up in the local. Would you rather be Eli Drinkowitz or Josh Heupel?
Give me Drink.
Really?
I don't think Josh Heupel. I don't think Eli Drinkowitz has to deal with as rabid of a fan base as Missouri.
Yeah.
Like what? Like in no offense to the Missouri Tigers, I don't think a Missouri Tiger fan wakes up every day and goes, "When is my team going to win the national title again? When are we going to return to being the best in the country?" There was a time in college football where Tennessee was one of the programs to beat, and it wasn't that long ago. Like it's 25, 30 years ago. That's a long time. But from his lifetime as that goes, that's not that long ago. There's 40-year-olds, there's 50-year-olds that very much remember when Tennessee was the have of college football. I think Josh Heupel has a much bigger pressure to do that. Whereas Missouri, it's kind of like, you know what? We're a really solid team. Things are going really well for us. I don't think Drinkowitz has nearly as much pressure as Josh Heupel has to deal with. So I'd rather be him.
Would you rather be Kirby Smart's cornerbacks coach or Steve Sarkisian's offensive coordinator?
Steve Sarkisian's offensive coordinator.
Do you know who it is, by the way?
No, I forgot. Who is it?
It's Kyle Flood.
Yes, Kyle Flood. Because
In name. I mean, Kyle Flood's the offensive line coach, but I highly doubt Kyle Flood's setting game plan as offensive coordinator. Probably Steve Sarkisian.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna avoid the chewings as much from Sark. I would assume Kirby Smart is known to give out some tongue lashings, but I'd rather be Kyle Flood. I think.
Yeah, because there's autonomy with Steve and his offense, right?
Correct.
It's not like he's letting you call plays and then standing over your shoulder MFing you because you called the wrong play. Whereas with Kirby Smart, if he goes out to practice and the corners aren't doing something that he likes, you finna get mother effed right now in front of everybody, which is what you were just alluding to. So, yeah, I would probably want to be Steve Sarkisian's offensive coordinator because that means I'm getting paid a lot of money to not be a coordinator. Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool. And I get the title on my bio. That's pretty well done. What you got?
Would you rather be Kirby Smart or Ryan Day for the 2026 season? And kind of they're very similar in situations.
Honestly, I think you can do this in totality. You don't even have to say 2026. Who would you rather be?
Very great question.
I don't know. I think those are the two of the three best jobs in college football.
Two of the three best coaches in college football.
Huh?
Two of the three best coaches in college football,
for sure. A doubt. But they're at really, really elite jobs, and they always have great football teams.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I don't know. Maybe Ryan. No, because Notre Dame being the recruiting power that it was, like 5 years ago, I don't think there was anybody that could carry weight in the Northeast that could recruit anything like Ohio State could. You know what I mean? So he could just have the pick of the litter of anybody north of the Mason-Dixon and could come down here and pick off whatever he wanted to. Whereas down here in the South, like Kirby's fighting everybody left and right all the time. But now that, like I said, Notre Dame's up there, Michigan's got a lot of money now. So it's balanced a little bit. But I don't know. It's such a good one.
It's also like they're in very similar situations where it's two coaches who had really good teams. You would say probably had disappointing ends to the seasons last year based on what their expectations were. There's that pressure from the fan base of, hey, when are you going to win us another national title? Like, they're two very similar situations.
I don't think I could handle beer dye. So give me Kirby Smart. John Mateer or Arch Manning?
Give me John Mateer.
Why?
Because
less pressure?
I'm not going to get
eyes on you?
I'm not going to get scrutinized. But then again, I'm not going to be built up to the degree that Arch Manning would be. So if it were me personally, and I just want to play football, I want to help my team win, I don't want to have to deal with any of the outside noise, I would say John Mateer is probably a better situation for me. If I want to be a star, if I want to be one of the biggest names to ever be built in college football, if I want to become a legend, I'd go with Arch Manning.
Yeah.
I think Arch Manning is in much better position to do that for all the reasons that we've talked about. John Mateer could absolutely become this, but he's not going to get that name boost like Arch Manning would.
You got another one?
Yeah. Would you rather have Tennessee or Texas Tech's quarterback situation right now?
Tennessee. I think Faison Brandon's going
to. Yeah.
I'm not saying Will Hammond's not going to be, but only one of those options was a 5-star.
It should be noted that when this was written, Brendan Sorsby had gotten his preliminary injunction and was expected to play.
We've been waiting to do this that long.
That's how long we've been sitting on this segment. So
yeah, I mean, honestly, we were going to get to a point where we might have dumped it tonight too, because we could have done something else here.
Yeah.
This is the fastest 58 minutes I've ever had on the national.
Yeah, I don't know
what happened. I feel like I blacked out halfway.
We ran out of time, but it's all right.
Would you rather be Jeff Lebby or Greg Schiano? Both at bottom tier schools in their conference, both fighting uphill battles.
I'm going to go with...
I mean, only one of them is randomly on hot seats despite the fact that their program's on the up. And it's Lebby.
Yeah.
Like, Lebby's on all these lists for some reason. Like, people just want to throw, he's in he's going into year 3 at Mississippi State, so they're about to fire him. That's just the rule. No, now it ain't that, but they're doing this out there at Mississippi State, trying to Whereas I feel like at Rutgers, it's just perennial mid.
Slop.
I didn't even want to go that far. Perennial mid. We should know we're at the bottom. It is what it is. Here we are.
Here's my thing. There's no denying, I think, that Mississippi State has the more passionate fan base, has the more dedicated fan base. Is that good for Jeff Lebby or is that bad? Because they love their program and they care so much, so you're going to get the support if you get the support. But at the same point, they are going to come at you with pitchforks and knives much quicker, and I think we've already kind of seen that to some degree now. The majority of Mississippi State fans love Jeff Lebby and want to work out there, but I think that passion within that fan base has created that kind of, hey, they might fire this guy. With that said, I'd probably want to be Jeff Lebby. I'd probably want to be in the SEC because let's be honest, if you succeed in the SEC or you have a moderately good program, you will get a job elsewhere. I don't know if, hey, Greg Schiano was going 8-4 for Rutgers. We need to get him a really strong G5 or Power 5 job, one of the top 10. Like Dan Mullen is the epitome of this. Dan Mullen took Mississippi State and made them 8-4 to 9-3 consistently. They had a really good year in 2014. But other than that, I was like, all right, yeah, you're ready to be the next Florida head coach. I don't see that scenario for Rutgers and Greg Schiano.
Two things. One, I've never once sat at a Canes and eaten food. The only Canes I've ever had is post-game in college, right outside the bus, sitting in a to-go box. And it's still banged. It's pretty good. But it's like, to-go food, sitting outside by a bus for an hour.
Moist, yeah.
Big moist, just not ideal. Sauce is banging. The other thing I got for you, there's a meta at Zaxby's. Do you know what the meta is?
No. What is it?
You don't ask for the extra Zax sauce till you get to the window. As you go through, say, hey, can I get another Zax sauce? And then they'll just hand it to you instead of charging you the 50 cents.
It's 50 cents now? I thought it was a quarter.
I mean, dude, private equity bought that thing out. It's all to hell now. It's all to crap.
But no, I mean, the real answer
Shout out to the Utah Utes.
Huey Magoo's clears both of those.
Never been there either.
They have it in the press box sometimes.
Oh, I have had this. Okay. Yeah, Huey kind of slaps then.
It's way better than Canes or Zaxby's, but
but not a chain. Is it?
I think it is. I think it's a smaller chain.
Okay.
But either way. Yeah.
Hey, we have a whole nother hour coming up right now on the Film Guy Network. See you on the other side.
Welcome into Talk the Dog, the show where we find a bone to pick and a take to give. These are not hot takes. These is dog takes. Can I talk that dog?
What's up? Really like that. You really like that?
Let's shut up and grab some tape.
It is the final local hour of the week, and we have a rather interesting topic to discuss with all of you all today. There's not a lot of news to come from the Georgia Bulldogs front over the last 24 hours. It comes to get that way in the last, waning months of July or
Honestly,
early June.
At this point in the year, no news, good news.
Exactly. The fact that we have nothing to sit up here and talk about of, man, this person got injured or this person got arrested or so-and-so said this, it's good news. It doesn't make for great content for us, so we've come together and we've decided to give you all some more extensive content. I watched an old football game today, and I have notes on that. It's one of our recurring weekly segments. And I figured Kirby Smart's been at the University of Georgia for a decade now, 10 seasons. It spans over 2 decades, the 2010s and the 2020s. Of those two eras, which is the better all-time roster? So me and Brooks today went to the board and crafted an entire set of all-time rosters from the 2010s and 2020s that we're going to break down. With the 4th of July coming up, we're also going to be breaking down some of our favorite or some of the best number 4s at the University of Georgia.
All right, so I want to address what the chat was talking about earlier. They were debating whether or not Kirby Smart dislikes Shane Beamer.
Yeah, I think it's overplayed a bit.
Overplayed or not true?
I don't think Kirby Smart ever wants to hang out with Shane Beamer. I think Kirby and Lane Kiffin will go and golf. I don't think Kirby and Shane are going to hang out.
I think Kirby's got a tremendous amount of respect for Steve Sarkisian.
Yeah, I don't think they I don't think like Kirby Smart hates Shane Beamer.
All right. Well, here's what I'll say. I think in my time at like covering the University of Georgia, there's only been 2 football coaches ever take lateral moves to get out of Athens, and he's one of them. He went from being a tight ends coach at Georgia to being a tight ends coach at Oklahoma. You don't take lateral moves. People don't leave this place to take the same job elsewhere. That's not what happens. So whether that be, yeah, buddy, go ahead, go on, get up out of here, or now I'm feeling spurned because you want to go work for Oklahoma. I think there's something there. I don't think. There's something there.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Also, what hammered this home to me was, I don't know, I can't remember what year it was, but Shane's out there complaining about or calling timeouts to get a 4th down or something like that.
This is 2022. I know what you're talking about.
Kirby hits him with a first down, mother, and then does one of those, completely yelling at him across the sideline. That wasn't like your standard shit talking that he does with Lane Kiffin.
Right.
That was pointed. That was a little bit different. That felt a little bit different to me. Also, they share nothing in common apart from the fact that their fathers were coaches.
Yeah,
nothing in common.
Personality-wise, they are not the same.
I don't think, and part of the reason why I think Shane took the lateral moves because I don't think they can work together in the same building. I don't think their vibes coincide. I think Kirby Smart is an absolute lunatic that prefers to work 140-hour weeks that will not leave a stone unturned, and the other guy wants to kick his feet up with his shoes off in the office.
Very possible. I will say I don't think Kirby Smart personally dislikes Shane Beamer. I don't think Kirby Smart like holds vitriol for Shane Beamer.
But he ain't one of the homies.
No, he's not. And I think that I think there's a fine line between I don't think I'm friends with this person and I hate this person. I think a lot of Georgia fans think Kirby Smart has some oh, we get to play Shane Beamer today. We get to play South Carolina. I can't wait to beat the hell out of them. I don't think there's that. I don't think he likes Shane Beamer.
I'm not going to say that Shane Beamer is LAZY, but he definitely isn't labeled a hard worker by the coaches that I talk to. And that is never going to fly, Kirby Smart.
Understandable.
Ever. I don't think Kirby likes anybody that doesn't work themselves to the bone. I don't think he respects them. You know what I mean?
Understandable.
So I think that's what's going on there. But yeah. Should we go to the board?
Do you want to go to the board or do we want some old game notes first?
Oh, dude, I love this segment. This is one of the, honest to God, you do a lot of great stuff around here.
Oh,
and I think I've already told you this, but this is the best off-season segment that we've had brought to light in the 3 years doing this.
Thanks, man.
Because it's so hard to do what we do in the middle of June, and this has been a godsend. So, yeah, go ahead.
All right. So I'll give you some quick stats like we usually do. You got to guess the game. This was the 75th meeting between these two. And by the way, all these games I've been watching are ones that you would have covered or at least been covering the team.
So this has to be an Auburn-Georgia game.
Oh, no. Auburn-Georgia goes way further.
Oh, that's 120 years.
Yeah.
Okay,
This was a top 15 matchup between 2 undefeated teams.
Are you snaking me with an Arkansas game again?
No. Here's
75 matchups. So it has to be an SEC Eastern opponent, right?
This was the first time in SEC history since the conference division merger in 92 that 2 6-0 SEC teams from the East had played each other.
Is it South Carolina?
It is not South Carolina.
No, go ahead.
Georgia had not, heading into this game, Georgia had not allowed a first half touchdown. Mind you, this is the 6th game of the season. This is the 7th game of the season. Georgia had not allowed a first half touchdown.
Is this 2019?
No, this is not.
Okay.
I figured that's fact would give it away for you.
So this is 2021?
Yes. And here's the final one that I think if you remember this game, well, you'll immediately remember it. Georgia blocks 2 field goals / PATs in this game.
I don't know what my brain's doing.
Interesting. All right, I'll start.
Kentucky?
It is Kentucky.
Okay.
2021 Georgia versus Kentucky, a top 15 matchup where the 11th ranked Kentucky Wildcats headed into Athens, Georgia in a late October top 15 matchup.
This is the week Richard LeCount got hurt, right?
Richard LeCount was already gone. Richard LeCount.
Okay, that was 2 years prior in 2019.
2020 when he got hurt.
Okay, 2020 when he. Michael.
Correct, because that was the COVID season. Because 2020 was when he had the Arkansas game and really burst on the scene. He was playing his
What were
best.
you doing watching this game?
We mentioned something about 21 games, the 21 team, a few days ago, or I think Monday. So I was like, you know what? Let me tune into it.
Dabble.
This is also one. This game holds a special place in my heart for me personally as well, because it was one of the first games when I was in college where my friends all visited me and actually saw it like as fans. So it was a lot of fun to relive this memory and all that. So first right off the bat, first drive, you could tell Kentucky's interior offensive line is in hell. They cannot run the football up the middle. They are running.
Okay.
This is the Chris Rodriguez.
This is the only Georgia game I've ever taken my wife to.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this is why I don't recall this one all that much. I was in the stands with my wife.
Ah.
Yeah. I took that week off.
I was in the stands too.
I took that week off, bought a ticket in the sun, and we sweated it out.
Yeah, pretty early kick. A late October, so it was fairly manageable.
I don't know if I could do anymore.
I know, you get bombarded, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. Why are you here? What are you doing sitting right here? I don't think I could do that anymore.
You could do that part, but if you want to actually sit and enjoy the game, you could not do it. You'd be taking photos.
Questions left and right.
Every 10 seconds.
What are we doing?
Yeah, hey man, what's going on here?
Yeah, it was me, my wife, Jamie, and the two Goodmans. Two Jamie Goodmans.
Nice. So yeah,
shout out to those guys. I highly doubt Jamie's watching right now.
Kentucky is doing everything it can to get the ball outside. They're running swing passes. They're running screens. I think Kentucky must have run 10 outside perimeter screens, and 5 of them get called back for holding.
Was this the game everyone finally confirmed Mark Stoops had the plus 17?
We'll get to that.
Okay, go ahead.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
Okay, it's coming back to me now. It's coming back.
Yeah, so that happens. Kentucky's first drive doesn't work. Second play of the game, Darnell Washington absolutely hurdles a Kentucky defender, which is something that, looking back on it, he's kind of made a career out of. Obviously, he's a fantastic blocker. He's really good in space if you give him the ball, but hurdling defenders that are going at his knees has become the trademark of Darnell Washington. Sometimes he hurdles when he doesn't even need to. Like if you go back and watch the Missouri game of 22, he's just jumping randomly. So that was kind of fun to watch. The second drive, Stetson Bennett, and this was the epitome of 2021 Stetson Kirby, that dynamic. Second drive, he absolutely sails a hitch route to A.D. Mitchell. Like it goes 5 yards out of bounds, and Kirby Smart has a classic just breakdown. Like he's grabbing his scalp, he's squeezing the visor.
I we haven't seen one of those.
We haven't. We had like
he's gone soft.
He's literally he's almost dropping down to his knees, like screaming and shaking,
trembling.
It's literally like the second offensive drive of the game. This is Stetson Bennett's third start of the season. Like by this point, like the dynamic had kind of changed. Stetson was the quarterback. Yeah. He's still chewing ass, so absolutely loses it. Like I said, screens, outside runs, tosses from Kentucky. They're trying to get the ball outside as quickly as they can.
Get the hell away from Jordan Davis.
Get the hell away from Jordan Davis was all they could do. Stars matter. We talked about this, and this kind of placates what we talked about yesterday. Stars absolutely matter. Hitting on the ones that aren't the flashy players don't. The first 2 or 3 drives, the entire offense runs through Stetson Bennett, A.D. Mitchell, Ladd McConkey. 2-3 stars and a walk-on. So, again, yes, 3 of the 5 stars matter. Again, the big name recruits matters. All of that matters. If you can get the A.D. Mitchells and Ladd McConkeys, though, I would say those are just as equally as important. Kendall Milton makes the play of the game, the absolute play of the game in the first quarter of this. And I've forgotten about this play too. It's 2nd and 13. Georgia's in the Kentucky red zone. Stetson Bennett drops back to pass. Ball gets knocked out of his hand while he's throwing. Ball lands harmlessly on the ground. There's 2 Kentucky defenders staring at it, literally standing over the ball staring at it. Kendall Milton is the only one with the wherewithal to run up and fall into the football. It's ultimately reviewed and ruled a fumble that is recovered by Georgia. Had that not been the case, had Kendall Milton not been there, probably a Kentucky football. Georgia probably still wins that game, but completely changes the momentum. Very next play, James Cook scores on a Texas route. So just the heads-up IQ of Kendall Milton to save that drive was one of the most impressive plays of the game, I think. And it's one that I had forgotten about. It's a very underrated heads-up football play.
Good game. I remember one specific play watching film on that game. I obviously watched it from the stands and then came back and watched the film. Watching the center try to block Jordan Davis with one hand.
Yeah, like
classic.
I said,
Classic.
They were doing everything they could to avoid going up the middle.
The center from Kentucky that year was dude, and he got handled. Got handled for 4 quarters.
Something I was kind of surprised by. Georgia
Benny
has
Snell.
He was not on the. This is Chris. This is Chris Rodriguez.
It's Chris Rodriguez.
Yeah, Benny Snell had already gone. Georgia had 2 first half timeouts on offense just because of misalignment and things. Probably placating to Kirby's stress. The running game really starts getting going for Georgia in the second quarter here. I think the second touchdown drive, they have Stetson Bennett, Kendall Milton, and Zeus all have runs over 20 yards or more. Just the classic Kirby Smart lean on you and dominate. Dude, the 2021 pass rush was so different. Like, I know that everyone, we talk about how, this last year was not up to standard. You can't hold 21 as the standard.
No.
Jalen Carter was living in the backfield. Nolan Smith was making plays. Obviously, we know what Jordan Davis and Devontae White were doing. Trayvon Walker was still there. Number 19 was still on the roster up to this point. This was actually the second to last game he played for Georgia. So the pass rush was unreal at this point. Will Levis was fighting for his life, which actually brings me to my next point. I never thought he'd work out in the NFL. I was never one of these Will Levis believers, but I get what they saw.
Oh, there's a couple balls in that game where you're like, whoa.
The frame that he has, the way that he was playing through, like, he was Kentucky's offense that season, combined with the fact that they were to run the football. I get it. I don't think that it was ever going to work out. I'm not surprised by what happened at Tennessee. No shade to him, but I understand what some of those scouts saw.
Will Levis was the first guy in my time period where I feel like he almost got hyped up because of off-season throwing footage. That video comes out of him throwing in that bubble up there and wherever he's from. He's ripping. But here's what you need to pay attention to, and what I pay attention to when I watch these off-season videos. Ain't nobody layering the ball. They're all throwing the piss out of it every time they can, and that's just not the reality of the position. The reality of the position requires, as my dad would say, it requires a little bit of touch. Mm-hmm. It requires a little bit of finesse. It's not all horsepower and hand shoes or hand grenades. Sometimes we have to be able to touch it up just a tad bit. And he can't. To this day, he has no ability to play with finesse or touch.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Anytime you watch a game from this era, I have 1 to 3, sometimes 5 moments where I just go, yeah, Brock Bowers was that good. He has multiple plays throughout this game. The touchdown in the back corner of the end zone where he mosses the defender. He has like a 59-yard touchdown reception that gets called back for holding. The second touchdown he has, I forgot how, I think he had over 100 yards in this game. Like, went completely nuclear against Kentucky. So, yeah, Brock Bowers is him. Just your obligatory comment on that. Next thing I completely forgot about, one of the better plays I saw. The Kobe Dean makes arguably the best play I would say he ever made against Georgia. It's second and goal. Kentucky is in Georgia's territory. Like, it's one of the few instances where Kentucky's about to score. They run a wide receiver screen, obviously, and Kobe Dean sheds 3 blocks. Offensive lineman blocks, by the way, because they're in space. Tackle for loss, it's like a 4 or 5 yard loss. Kentucky has to settle for a field goal. Georgia scores on the ensuing drive. Just one of those things where it's like great players making those plays. It was the epitome of the 21 season, and then capitalizing on those plays.
I found the picture of my wife and I.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that beef. You zoom in on that.
I can.
Look at that monstrosity. Oh, there goes my screen. Had to be like a good 295 at the time.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, man, we were thick.
And you're at the 50 though. I was always in the end zone, the student section end zone.
Can't hide money as my stepdad.
Are you talking about me or you?
You.
I always had student tickets.
Me too.
It was like $10.
Kentucky in 2022. I don't think they were that steep that day.
It was a top 15 matchup of 2 undefeated teams.
You're right. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have been watching that one from the stands. Probably should have been covering that.
Well, and even like Brad Nessler and Gary Danielson even talk about it in kind of like in the prelims where they do the intro for everything. They're like, Who would imagine this game would have been the biggest ticket in the SEC today? Like, it genuinely was. So, because this was the week before Texas A&M had beaten Alabama. That was also something that...
I love these types of remembrance moments in the chat. I had to Uber home that day. One too many margs.
Yeah, me and my friends had a fantastic night afterwards. But the game was fun. It was also very fun because, like you said, it was their first experience in a Georgia football environment, and it was a crazy environment. It was a great environment. It wasn't anything crazy, but to see your friends experience something that you've grown up loving, very cool. All right,
let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. So Georgia is up 30-7 in the fourth quarter. Game is pretty well in hand.
Yeah.
Kentucky gets the ball with 11 minutes to go. 11 minutes are left in the football game. Kentucky has the football. I'm not accusing Mark Stoops of gambling, but boy, is this a
look like it.
Is this a damning way to end the football game? Aside from the fact that the drive takes 11 minutes, there is no urgency whatsoever. He is sitting on the football, and even Gary and Brad are at, like, I guess Stoops at this point is conceding the game and just wants to have one last good drive. Like Brad or Gary Danielson's kind of like, and yeah, this is a good momentum building for them. Like, it's not a winnable game. It's a 22-play drive that takes 11 minutes. And let me tell you how it ends.
Go for it on fourth down like 5 times, don't they?
No. Here's what gives it away. Kentucky's obviously nickeling and diming the entire way down the field, just like Georgia has won this football game. They get to the red zone. Will Levis throws a really nice fade ball, tackled at the 2-yard line. There's like 15 seconds left in this game. Kentucky runs a run up the middle, stuffed. They line up, they run one more, stuffed again. There's 4 seconds left. The clock's counting down. Mark Stoops calls a timeout. 4 seconds left, down 23 points at the goal line. Mark Stoops calls a timeout. Everyone's booing. Everyone is like, the stadium at this point is like, are you kidding me?
I think Jamie was like, hey, we better get out of here so beat traffic. We weren't even in the stadium at the time.
I was in the mezzanine under the scoreboard when I watched this game end because I'll tell you why. Because the streak had been there. Georgia had not allowed multiple touchdowns in the game all season.
Yeah.
And they'd allowed one earlier today, but was like, they can't allow a second touchdown. So Mark Stoops calls the timeout, and we're like, oh my God, are you kidding me? Final play of the game. There's 3 seconds left. Screen, wide receiver falls in, touchdown Kentucky, 30-13. Kentucky's lining up for the final PAT. It is blocked. As Nakobe Dean is returning it, Devontae Wyatt runs onto the field without his helmet. He's celebrating. Because I guess Devontae Wyatt doesn't know that just because the kick is blocked does not mean the play is over.
Yeah.
So Devontae Wyatt is out here celebrating while the play is still. Nakobe Dean literally runs right by him with Devontae Wyatt with no helmet on. That's going on. While the play is still happening, Jalen Carter gets a crackback block. Like, absolutely baptizes someone. Thank God it's not called targeting.
Yeah.
As that happens, Kentucky offensive lineman who sees this, does not enjoy that, starts talking to Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter, in unfortunate Jalen Carter fashion, slaps the shit out of the Kentucky offensive lineman. This is all happening on the final play of the game. So now the refs are like having a conference. Kirby Smart, of course, is chewing out Devontae Wyatt and Jalen Carter at the same time. Thankfully, neither of them received any suspension or major penalty for that, but the game ends in the funniest fashion possible. But yeah, to close that out, the score that Kentucky had cut Georgia's lead to 17. Kentucky was a 21.5-point underdog in that game. So had they not scored that touchdown, there would have been no cover. And again, not saying that Mark Stoops is gambling. I'm not saying that Mark Stoops is betting on his own team.
But he might have been that day.
But my God, did he really want that final touchdown?
But he might have been that day. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is another great segment brought to you by our executive producer, Christian Kirby. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We have an all Georgia roster from the 2010s. We have an all Georgia roster from the 2020s. Okay, and we're going to go position by position and select a player that we would draft, all right, for the ultimate 2000s team, or the last, 20 years?
The ultimate Kirby Smart team.
No, ultimate
These are all players that played under Kirby Smart.
Kirby Smart players pre-2020 and
and let me give a pretense since there's some overlapping with guys. If you played the majority of your career in the 2010s, you are a 2010s player. If you split it evenly, I counted which part of your career was more impactful. For example, Jordan Davis was on the roster since 2018. That's 2018, 19, 20, and 21. That's 2 seasons in each decade. He had a more impactful career towards the 2020s, so that's why I counted that. So it's whatever you spent more of. So, for example, George Pickens was a freshman in 2019. He spent more time in the 20s, so that's your 2020s player. Just had to give that out there.
Let's start with the quarterback. Nice and easy.
Stetson Bennett versus Jake Fromm.
Yeah, no offense to the Fromster. It's Stetson Bennett.
I mean, yeah.
By a mile.
I would say that there isn't a Georgia quarterback you could put on this list that I wouldn't choose Stetson Bennett.
Stafford. I would choose Stafford.
Yeah.
Just because of the talent.
That's fair.
Just give me Stafford. But the career. The overarching career,
but
of
also
Stetson
like
is just so obvious.
I want to do some revisionist history. Matthew Stafford, incredible talent, incredible Georgia quarterback.
Yeah, he wasn't what he was.
Loved spraying it.
Yeah,
Matthew Stafford I have the best arm in the world. Matthew Stafford in the NFL, absolutely, you're right. College Matthew Stafford loved spraying the ball good. He was a fantastic quarterback. Loved him. One of the first quarterbacks I remember watching. But I might still go Stetson.
When did we dropped the slot in our career quite a bit? Stafford did. We went from holding the ball up tight we're in the 2000s to now being like Pat Mahomes' wet dream is what we look like now.
Yeah, I think that's honest.
I mean?
I think that's just like a bunch of quarterback. Like if you go back and look at any of it,
it's all transition.
Any of that. Like Kirk Cousins was doing that. Like Tom Brady did that.
Yeah.
So like I think that kind of, but for this purpose, obviously Stetson Bennett over Jake Fromm. Can you add another F to Jake Fromm's name, please? I just realized I'm at the end. Or another M. Another M.
I was like, you were making my brain short circuit there for a second. I'm like, another F.
I spell checked it too and everything. I can't believe I messed up.
All right, running backs is a clear sweep for the 10s.
Yeah,
team.
so obviously
it's not even, not to do it, but it's not even close.
Well, here's why we have to decide who's our running back 2 for the 2010s. Is it DeAndre Swift or is it Sony Michel? You're going to Sony Michel?
Yeah, give me the tandem. No, again, no offense to DeAndre. DeAndre was really, really good in college.
It's great.
You think he was great? You think he was DeAndre Swift ever a top 3 or 5 college running back at the time? He was?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, maybe not like better than Saquon or someone like that, but he was always in the top 3.
Because I felt like these two kind of battled for the number 1 spot in college football in and of their own right on their own
Very
team.
true. Very true.
You know
I'm completely fine putting Sony and Nick as the RB1 and 2.
And I'm going to give both of them the check. Again, no offense to James Cook and Kenny McIntosh, but they really don't hold water to these.
No, I mean, you're talking about 2 of the greatest ball carriers in Georgia football history. Obviously, they get the nod there.
Like, I was sitting here wondering if James Cook and Kenny should be the 2 in the 20s, but I don't know what other 2 I would bring. The running back position was at its peak right here at this era.
Agreed. I know another caveat, no players that are still actively on Georgia's roster are included from this.
That's fair.
So
That's fair.
We left them off. You have to have gone to the NFL draft.
All right, let's get into offensive tackles.
Andrew Thomas versus Broderick Jones.
Ooh,
this is tough.
Not really. That guy was so clean. It's so great. I feel like Andrew Thomas was the best tackle in college football during his time.
That's fair.
And really, really went months being unbeatable. You know what I mean? Like they threw the Clavon Chason kid in front of him in the SEC championship game. I just went back and rewatched it recently, and it was mincemeat for 4 quarters. I mean, he handled that kid. And that dude ended up going on to be a first-round draft pick. Hadn't panned out in the league, but he was damn good in college. All right, now I am a Jamari Sawyer over Ben Cleveland guy myself. I don't know about you,
I think this is a tough one.
But Jamari, to me, like if I had to say, is Jamari a guard or is he a college tackle? He was a college tackle to me. He played guard a little bit, but I mean, he's an NFL tackle now, right?
I believe so.
So
yeah.
I think Jamari is a tackle, but I think Jamari's the better football player over Ben Cleveland. Ben Cleveland was a great pass blocker towards the end of his career, and he could uproot some people.
Yeah.
But I never felt like Ben was like the guy.
Cleveland was also a late bloomer. Like I remember he was one of the another big acquisition early on. He didn't really see like true burn until his junior year. So I would say Jamari Sawyer probably gets the nod.
I'm going Jamari. And we can go to the center spot. I don't think Lamont is as good as SVP.
No, SVP gets the nod here for sure.
I would go SVP. In fact, I would almost like mark this one, Lamont and Trey Hill. I thought they were both the same caliber of winnable, but not great at the center spot. All right, let's go on to the next spot. Easy. It's Tate Ratledge over Solomon. Like, no offense to Solomon, but Tate would have started 4 years at the University of Georgia if he didn't have Liz Frank in his foot.
Yeah, I mean, Tate is kind of the epitome of like a fantastic college guard. Like, and he's going to have a really good NFL career too. But man, he was elite. It's unfortunate that his career was kind of hindered by injuries.
Now, I would go Isaiah Wynn over Isaiah Wilson, believe it or not.
Okay.
Wilson was really, really big, really, really good. Wynn had some of the best feet I've ever studied in my life at the position. All that being said, it's Amarius Mims. Amarius Mims is built in the lab.
Talent is undeniable.
Amarius Mims is built in the lab.
The frame is undeniable from Amarius Mims. So, yeah, you're right.
Another one of those football players that sadly we only got like 9 games of.
Yeah, kind of robbed of his career.
We didn't get a ton of run of Amarius because he sat for a couple years behind Broderick.
He was behind Broderick and then the injury.
Jamari. And then, we have a high ankle sprain. We have to have, what is it, the tightrope. So there's that. But I would go Amarius. I mean, in a vacuum, I don't think they've created a better tackle.
Oh, my God.
What?
I messed up again.
What'd you do?
We'll get to it in a sec.
Okay. Tight end spot. That's an obvious one, too.
Yeah, there's no
offense to Isaac Nada. By the way, Isaac Nada, one of the very first players where I was like, oh, you were the best you were going to be the day you showed up here. You know, and there's not a lot of those, but it's not his fault. I think we'd physically reached it by the time we got to college.
But and like we even said, like I don't think Brock got exponentially better.
No, he was just great from day one.
Just like he was like Brock Bowers from the second he got
from
there.
rip.
So, but no, you're right. Like the ceiling of Isaac Nada and Brock Bowers is very different.
Oh, you put Miko on here twice.
That's what
you're going to say?
The slot is that's supposed to be Zachariah Branch.
Okay.
I think I looked at the wrong list when I did that. That's on me,
No,
chat.
you're good, bro.
I'm very sorry, everyone.
Chat fixed you up?
No, I was just looking down. I was like, wait a minute.
All right, so we got Zachariah Branch right there. All right, let's go to the X position. Kirby, no offense to Javon Williams, but it's George Pickens.
I do love Javon Williams, but you're right. George Pickens certainly is the more talented player.
Man, when I looked at this board pre-show, I thought the 10s might have had them offensively.
Right.
Because I know they're going to whip their ass defensively on the 20 side of things, but it's playing out like the 20s are probably going to win the offensive side of the football too.
It is
makes sense. They won 2 national titles.
Well, not only that, it is worth noting that like the majority, like there's a larger pool to pull from in the 20s. We've had 6 seasons of the 2020s, and we only had 5, and one of them doesn't really count because it was 2016. It wasn't Kirby Smart's roster, so I'm not surprised the 2020s is winning.
It's hard to say Miko over Zachariah Branch when Zachariah Branch broke the season record, single season record for receptions.
It's certainly, I would say in a vacuum, I get 1 season of either one of them. I'm going to take Zachariah Branch. I think Mecole Hardman had the bigger impact on the team as a whole. He was a special teams demon. He gave you 2 really solid seasons of playing receiver. I still think Zachariah Branch probably deserves the nod here just because of all that he did for that program and all that he was to the offense in this last season. That said, very hard decision.
Mecole tweeted out the other day, anybody in Atlanta that can come throw for me. So I sent him a DM, say, hey, I'll come spin it.
What did he say to that?
I haven't gotten a response. So for that reason, Zachariah Branch.
Oh, it's a spite choice.
No, I'm just kidding. He did respond to I would come back to Georgia, though. I don't know if I've said that on air. I DM'd him the other day when we had that discussion about drafting players or top 5 players you'd want to come back and play for Georgia.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, if I said to you, hey, Miko, we're going to handle all of the legal fees. We're going to handle all of them. and we're going to get a TRO for you to come back and play one more season at the University of Georgia. Would you do it? And his answer was, hell yeah. So, hey, maybe a chance Mecole Hardman comes back to the University of Georgia. That'd be funny.
For the sake of college football, I hope not, but God, that would be fun. That would be
All
fun.
right, well, we don't have to debate too much here with the Z spot. It is Latin
I do think it
McConkey.
is
No
worth.
offense to Riley Riddle.
I do think it is worth noting how good Riley Ridley could have been for Georgia. He was.
I don't remember much about it.
He kind of burst onto the scene his freshman year. He had some really big catches against Auburn. He had the Tennessee go-ahead catch that ultimately meant nothing because of the Dobbs-Nell boot. He balled out in the 2017 national championship, but I also don't feel like he ever really reached his full potential.
Shame on you, Kirby. Because we'll give these guys 5.
Okay.
And here's why.
Oh, you're putting Rodrigo down?
Yeah. I know he's a special teams player, but he counts for points. So Rodrigo Blankenship. He's better than any kicker you've had, right? Peyton Woodring's still on the roster, so you can't have him.
Yeah, Peyton Woodring is not eligible. Pod Lesney was really good. Obviously,
Old Jewel Pod? You were a big Jewel Pod fan, huh?
he was a great kicker.
Uh-huh. He wasn't Rodrigo.
No, I mean Rodrigo is also, and I'm trying to figure out how a lot of what made Rodrigo great was the aura. He was a fantastic college kicker. Love him to death. If Rodrigo's Blankenship's name was Mike Smith and he didn't have the goggles, I don't think Rodrigo Blankenship is as revered.
You don't think Quavo's like taking photos with him and like hanging out with him?
No. But still, one of Georgia's best kickers. Now we're on to the defensive side of things.
Might be a clean sweep here. You don't think so?
We'll see. Before we do that, we have to decide for the 2020s. There's a couple of debates that we have.
Okay.
Are we going Trayvon Walker or Michael?
I thought this guy was more consistently great.
Yeah, and here's what I'll say. Trayvon Walker was a fantastic player for Georgia. I think a lot of what Trayvon Walker is built on is the fact that he was a number 1 overall pick. And we all know that's a trait, that's a measurables type thing. If you want to talk about who had the more impactful career, it's Michael Williams.
Yeah.
From the second he stepped foot in his freshman year to when he ultimately left, he was the big dog on the defensive edge.
Yeah,
I'm putting Michael there.
He's rushing as a true freshman in the Peach Bowl against Ohio State and getting home against the Johnson kid. They went 1-5 or whatever it was to the Arizona Cardinals.
Right.
From the Buckeyes. He was getting home.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right. It was never, apart from injury, there was never a moment where Michael Williams did not play to the rate that we thought he was.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Where there were, and it might have been because Trayvon was just surrounded by other freaks.
Yeah.
You know, but it's Michael for me.
So we've got Michael over Trayvon Walker.
We do.
Jalen Carter versus Devontae Wyatt is another one.
Yeah, I mean, I love Devontae Wyatt. I love the tape. I love the flash, the pizzazz. But Jalen Carter, Kirby, is going to go down as the best defensive tackle to come from the University of Georgia.
That's fair. I mean, Jalen Carter's on trajectory to have potentially a Hall of Fame NFL career.
No offense to C.J. Allen, but it's Nakobe.
Yeah.
You know?
I did wonder, though, from a longevity C.J. Allen gave you 2.5, like almost 3 full seasons of I'm the guy at Mike. Nakobe Dean had 2. I'll still say Nakobe Dean for sure.
Freshman year of Nakobe, he did pop, though. He popped no different than CJ popped as a true freshman.
For sure. I think Nakobe probably just had a harder path to get to starting. So you're right.
Yeah.
And then the last one is cornerback 2. That one's tough for me. Between Keely Ringo, Darian Kendrick, and Dalen Everett.
Now, if I'm drafting either of the 3, I'm taking Dalen Everett.
Yeah, but I would say this is more like we're doing all UGA.
We're doing all UGA. Man, Keely had some great moments.
He also had some tough moments.
Yeah.
A very hot and cold.
Wasn't he super grabby? Start his career. Didn't he get like 3 personal foul or PIs against Clemson? Start that 2021 year.
Yes, he did.
I don't remember Dalen ever getting hunted.
Oh, you don't?
Auburn, maybe.
You need to go watch that.
Time.
You need to go watch that 23 Missouri game.
Oh.
Dalen Everett is the reason that Kamari Lassiter gets put on what's his name? Just got drafted this year. He's on the Bears. Luther Burden. Luther Burden. Dalen Everett is the reason. Like now and again, and this, dude, we had to defend Dalen Everett for an entire season.
I know, we had to go to bat.
So I mean, he got hunted a good bit, and Darian Kendrick gave you a really solid year. You put in,
I have people that say they don't win a national title and they're not the defense that they were if Darian Kendrick wasn't there.
Like people of credibility?
Yeah. Yeah, people in the building. He did so much of a solidifying one area of the field that nobody really bothered. They just kind of left him over there.
Very quietly was a major impact in that 21. Like everyone talks about like the 21 defense, you go Nolan Smith, Jordan Davis. Like very rarely is Darian Kendrick brought up. So you know what? I think it's fair. I think we can agree Darian Kendrick gets the nod there.
All right, now let's debate Lorenzo Carter or Mykel Williams.
I love Lorenzo Carter.
Yeah.
Lorenzo Carter made some fantastic plays. I think overall Mykel Williams is a better player.
Also, he didn't really play DN. He played OLB. To be honest.
Yeah, I had to adjust some of these. Like I had to add a nickel spot.
If we're really talking ball here, the name that goes here is Malik Herring.
Yeah, and I mean that's.
And no offense to Malik, but he doesn't hold water to Mykel or Trayvon.
No, I mean I had to adjust this a little bit because at the time, like the late 2000, early Kirby Smart career was like they're running 4-3 a good bit. Like you had Natrez Patrick and
Natrez or Natrez?
Natrez, Reggie Carter. They're running a 4-3 with Roquan, so I had to do some adjusting.
Are you a Nolan Smith guy or an Azeez Ojulari guy?
Great question.
Because I know where I reside here.
From an impact on my roster, from a legacy standpoint, I'm a Nolan Smith guy. If we're going purely based off talent and production, I'm an Azeez Ojulari.
And that's where I'm at here. Like I love Nolan Smith as much as everybody listening to this today loves Nolan Smith. Azeez had a better run. Azeez had a better career at Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, Azeez Ojulari had 8.5 sacks in a shortened COVID season. So,
all right, Azeez gets the nod there. No offense to Tyler Clark. I thought Tyler Clark was the first one where I was like really heavily watching Georgia football in 2019. It was his last year there. And I could have sworn that kid was going to be an elite defensive tackle in pro ball.
Very underrated.
And it just never, it hasn't worked.
It didn't work. But no,
I don't know why.
He was very underrated during his time at Georgia. So deserves a nod. Obviously, you're not going to beat out Jalen Carter, though.
Unfortunately. All right. John Atkins versus Jordan Davis.
They did not have a ton of fantastic nose tackles. I mean, we're talking about an era like prior to Jordan Davis, Georgia, I don't even know if they had a
Kirby, they weren't a mint front defense until Jordan Davis came around, and then they're like, oh my God.
Correct. Well, I was going to say
reinvent the whole defensive structure. That dude's a freak.
Well, I was going to say, I don't know if Georgia had a defensive tackle drafted before Jordan Davis. Like not even in the first. That's what I'm saying. So
since 2013, I think Geno Atkins was the last Georgia football player to get drafted as a defensive lineman. Because that was often thrown against Georgia on the recruiting trail. And went from Georgia hasn't had any defensive lineman drafted since 2013 to nobody's had more drafted.
Yeah, it very quickly
changed. 2013.
Very
like
quickly
that.
Changed.
All right, well, no offense to Nakobe, but it is Roquan. It is always Roquan. Roquan will always be the answer. I think Roquan is a top 5 Georgia football player. If you had to like boil it down, he is probably one of the top 5 all-time Georgia football players.
First, his 2017 season is a top 5 season. I think we forget, and to his credit, this was before Kirby Smart. Roquan Smith was
like a 35 tackle guy before 17.
Not only that, not statistically, but just like not what he was in 2017 beforehand. Like 2015 and 2016, Roquan Smith, a lot of mistakes there. A lot to grow, a lot of like development physically. If you go watch, you don't have to. The North Carolina game, week 1 of Kirby Smart's career to any 2017 game, 2 completely different players.
I did go back and watch the Rose Bowl a couple years ago, and he got a couple of times. He gets
put on his face,
and it was so shocking that because I make him up to be this like mythical character,
and I think that's kind of what a lot is done there. Like, he's one of the greatest individual seasons in Georgia football history from a linebacker. He is one of the greatest linebackers it also wasn't like he was like God himself every play of the game. He got a good bit, especially in the Rose Bowl. I had to move. By the way, I know Monty Rice typically played Mike when he started.
I just want to do this real quick because this is a bothersome thing for me.
You can put him in. Will?
No, I'm just going to call it a will.
That's fair.
As our outside linebacker. Play slightly outside the box. Yeah, I mean, but one of these guys started 3 years.
Yeah, Monty's definitely the
Monty played so much ball for Georgia. Monty was the first, oops, I got that wrong, reporting things that I did. Monty's also part of the reason why I do not report any type of injury news ever again.
I didn't. What will happen here?
So Monty breaks his foot or does something bad to his foot before they go to Alabama in 2020.
Oh, I remember that.
And I had sources tell me that there is no way. There's just no way this guy plays on Saturday. And he goes, he travels. They do whatever they need to do pregame for him to be able to play. And he goes out and plays against Alabama. And people were like, that Brooks, I was very new. You know, most people don't even remember this. You don't even remember.
Oh.
At the time, when you're climbing into this industry, if you're wrong, it hurts your credibility so bad.
Yeah, you get cooked.
You get cooked. So that was one of the first. But it also goes to show me that whatever a doctor says is great. That's awesome. But the pain threshold and the pain tolerance of the athlete is ultimately what will determine whether or not that guy can play, unless it's broken bones or spines. You know what I mean?
Right.
If it's ligament stuff, if it's can you withstand the pain? If the guy's a freak, he's going to go out there and play. And that's what Monty did that day. I have a special place in my heart for Monty Rice, but it's probably Quay Walker.
Quay's definitely more talented, but Monty Rice had the more impactful career, which is tough to decide. Like, Quay Walker wasn't even like an incredible linebacker during his 2020 season. Like, 2021, obviously, it's why it's a first-round pick.
Hey, only one of these guys blocked me on Twitter.
Oh, you're getting personal.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It is Quay Walker, by the way. But I earned that. I deserved that.
Yeah, that was a...
Yeah. I don't make jokes like that on Twitter anymore during games. You remember what it was?
Yeah, it was Quay Walker gets a holding penalty against Cincinnati.
On a kick return.
And you tweeted like, that's the best tackle Quay Walker's had.
All day. Yeah.
I think the other one that I don't think ever got you in trouble with the Mekhi Muse.
Oh, he loved that.
He did?
Yeah, he thought that was funny.
Okay. I didn't know that. So that was the only other one where
he runs just like that guy in the GIF, by the way.
He does.
That's why it's funny. And not the fact that he's short and stocky. If that guy were 6'5" and ran like that on that GIF, I would have tweeted that GIF. The way that Mekhi Muse runs looks like that. But yeah, you're right. That was an iffy one. Nowadays, if I think, should I tweet this, I immediately don't.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at now. Back in the day, I just fire it off and deal with the consequences.
Yeah. So yeah, I think
not anymore.
I think we can go Quay here.
All right, let's go Quay.
Ooh, this one's gonna be tough for you.
Yeah. I mean, I am a diehard Richard LeCount fan. There is no doubt. I'm a diehard Richard LeCount fan, but Malachi Starks was so much of a better player.
Yeah, I mean, it feels so wrong for the next two players that were obviously. I think it's obvious what direction we're gonna go.
These guys are paramount into the building of this.
Exactly.
Thing.
It feels
Richard and JR were so big into making this what it was.
Exactly. And it feels wrong to not have them on that list or not to have someone better than the other. But the talent of Malachi Starks and Javon Bullard is undeniable. The impact that those two players had on your secondary for the seasons that they were there is undeniable. So, got to go Malachi and Javon.
Yeah. Even though I think Bull's season as a star was better than his season as a safety. Do you agree?
Agree, but the problem is Tyke Smith's season as a star was better than Javon Bullard's season as a star.
Yeah, that guy played some damn ball.
It's also funny looking at this list and basically looking at the entire defensive back group. It's just the 2023 roster. Like literally, it's just the 2023 roster for the entire defensive back group. Malachi, Javon, Kamari Lasser, Dalen Everett, Tyke Smith. All on one team, all listed as the best decades team for Kirby Smart in the 2020s.
All top 3 draft picks? Top 3 rounds? Dalen was the lowest drafted out of all those? He was a third-round pick this year, right?
Yes, correct.
What an elite stacking of talent. All right, let's go into corner. Ooh.
Kamari gets the nod.
It's Kamari.
J. Will would be irate.
I would be too.
Tyson Campbell was a great corner, though.
Yeah. But
Kamari Lassiter was a dog, dude.
I only can remember one tackle of Tyson Campbell's entire
career. He did not love tackling.
It was down on the goal line, I think, Mississippi State, maybe Auburn. He sticks somebody.
Yeah.
He gets jet motion returned and then has to run across the formation and makes a TFL.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it.
Yeah, no.
That's about it.
There's
Kamari was every week.
The funniest part about Kamari Lassiter for me is going into the 2022 season, I think this might have been an SEC Media Days interview. This might have been something. Kirby Smart goes, well, actually, Kamari Lassiter is our best tackle. And me, because at this point, Kamari Lassiter, I think he was wearing number 6. Like, he hadn't done a lot. He had the interception against Vanderbilt, but it was kind of like...
That he got mother effed for,
right.
by the way.
But it was kind of like the cornerback?
He's wearing 13, by the way.
Okay, you're right. My bad. It was like the cornerback is the best tackler on the defense. Like, that's not good news. The Oregon game happens, and he body slams that Oregon player. Obviously, it's a penalty, but still, it's like, oh, maybe Kirby's right. Maybe he is the best tackler.
And that was the only game in my, I could be wrong, the only game in my memory that they've ever flipped and traveled corners was Oregon that year. And it was because they felt like they had some burner at wide receiver.
It wasn't Stewart.
No,
was
I want to say it wasn't Malik Benson either. It was somebody. Oregon had a wide receiver that they always left into the boundary, and they would always take him on a vertical.
Yeah.
And they felt like their best bet to turn and run with that guy was Keeley.
Mm-hmm.
So they left Keeley in the boundary with that guy all day long, and they flipped corners all day long. And I think I remember asking Kirby about it post-game, and he kind of side-eyed me like, wait a minute, somebody's watching? Somebody paid attention? What's going on right here? He nuked the question. I don't know. I don't even think we did that today. I think he said something along those lines, but
just
he was
dismissed
like,
it.
Who is that? Who is that guy back there? Yeah, but it is probably. Oh,
we gave Kamara the nod.
Yeah, we gave Kamara the nod. All right, so DeAndre Baker obviously gets the nod.
The strap, dude.
Yeah, it's an absolute strap. And no offense to Mark Webb, but you're not Tyke Smith.
No, and this was
Nobody
also an era of Georgia football where the nickel wasn't like a predominant position. Like nowadays, you're not coming off the field 90% of the time if you play nickel. Back then, it was like you might get 20 plays.
Yeah, I mean they played a lot more base during this time period. You know, so what? How many do we add up here?
Looks like
1,
8
2,
and
3,
3.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to 3. Wow.
Yeah, I mean it's understandable. Like.
Yeah.
I'm not shocked that the era of Kirby Smart football, that one is a bit longer, 2 features 2 national championship teams, multiple first rounders, is a little bit higher ranked and has more all-decade players. But that was a fun exercise to run through and kind of take a stroll down memory lane and see who would add up to where.
What else we got? We got anything else? Oh, you got big number 4s today.
The 4th of July is coming up, so I figured yesterday we did a fireworks theme. Why not just do a number 4 theme? So I figured we'd make some of our favorite players to wear. Quattro. Do you have any off the top of your head that you want to name beforehand? There's an obvious one that's the GOAT.
Nolan Smith?
Like I'm all time Jordan.
Champ Bailey?
Champ. Yeah, Champ Bailey gets he is the number 4. There's some great number 4s to have played for Georgia, but you have the career that he had. You make the impact that he had on, by the way, awful football.
By the way, friend of the show.
Really?
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't either. His son is getting recruited now. So I saw Champ at the Under Armour spring. Comes walking up to me and goes, did the thing that Gary did. He's like, hi, I'm Champ Bailey. I'm like, yeah. I know,
really?
I know who you are, buddy. Like, you don't have to introduce yourself to people. But he does. He's very, very down to earth.
He's a great guy. I've met him before.
Doesn't speak unless spoken to. You don't know he's there. And well, you know he's there. See him. But he's not trying to be known. You know what I mean?
That's exact. I met him at a fundraiser one time, and it was the exact same way. Like, very much like not hiding, not trying to be hidden, but like not making it about him. Not like, hey, I'm Champ Bailey, I'm here. So yeah, very nice guy, awesome. The number 4 for Georgia.
Damn, I didn't even know Champ was like that in NFL Street.
Really?
The only guy I remember being like that in NFL Street was Ricky Williams.
Yeah, NFL. I played NFL Street.
Yeah.
It was like right on the back end for me though, so I didn't like dive into it. It wasn't part of my fun game though.
Were those teams that bad?
Oh, they were pretty rough. Like these are like the mid '90s
back into golf era.
Yeah, back into golf, like right before Mark Richt gets hired. But yeah, another one, friend of the show, Keith Marshall. Keith Marshall.
I saw him yesterday.
Really?
Yeah.
Keith Marshall will always be one of those Georgia players that makes me kind of sad, because like the potential their career had was so high. Like it was Keith Marshall and Todd Gurley neck and neck in that 2012 season. Like those guys, like it was a 10. Like you could not separate them. And obviously the knee injury happens in 2013, and he just was not the same player after that, despite the fact that he still, by some miracle, ran a 4.2 at the NFL Combine.
Did he get NFL retirement?
I don't know. I don't believe
I'll
so.
look it up.
But yeah,
Not
no.
that he needs it. Well, for
No,
himself
I mean,
right
he's
now.
also plenty smart that he doesn't need to rely on the earnings of solely his football career. Like he will have a very successful career and already has one outside of football. So, but no, man, that 2013 Tennessee game always haunts me. Keith Marshall, Justin Scott Wesley, barely beating an unranked Tennessee team.
Ran a 10.
Dude, he was so fast. He's so fast.
Woo. That is blazing. Yeah, no, I don't think we got the NFL.
Unfortunate. Another running back that wore number 4, James Cook. A very, very solid running back for Georgia.
But what a flex. You know what Keith Marshall's Wikipedia photo is?
No.
Him at the White House in a suit and an obvious business.
W.
That's a huge W. And he didn't get there on football merits, guys. He got there on his brain. Yeah, he's wicked. Every time I talk to him, I'm sorry. We both have master's degrees in business.
Mm-hmm.
Yours is real. Mine is fugazi.
Wow.
every time I have a conversation with him, I'm like, just on a different level of education.
He's brilliant.
Very, very smart.
Another running back to wear number 4, James Cook. Featured, obviously, we talked about him a good bit. Made some plays in the Georgia versus Kentucky game I watched earlier today. Shout out to him. Nolan Smith, the obvious answer here as well. Like the epitome of kind of my era of like, that is what it means to be a Georgia Bulldog leader. Like you come back for your senior season after winning a national championship, by the way. You blow out your pec in the Florida game, still around with the team. You're still a part of it. You're still a leader. Like Nolan Smith will forever have goodwill in the Georgia Bulldogs fan base.
Ain't no doubt. Ain't no doubt. Ooh, what number? This is going to sound really off topic. What number did CJ Wiley wear last year?
Well, it was in the 80s, wasn't it?
Because he wears 4 now.
He wore number 6 last year. He wore number 6 last year.
Now Isaiah Canyon wears.
Correct.
Okay.
If we want to talk about wide receivers, who wore number 4, McCole Hardman. McCole Hardman, fantastic wide receiver. Also, a name that does not get brought up enough, but was a fantastic Georgia wide receiver, Sean Bailey, number 4. Balled out.
Huge touchdown catch against right?
Balled out in the 2005 SEC championship game. I think DJ Shockley in that game, you might have to research this real quick. I think DJ Shockley goes 5 for 10 in that game with like 130-something yards. And I think Sean Bailey might have had 60 of them. Like it was like they had to throw the ball that infrequently for Georgia that game. But no, Sean Bailey, completely underrated. Does not get brought up enough with like the fantastic Georgia wide receivers of the early 2000s.
Herb, he was 6 for 12.
Yeah.
112 yards.
Yeah.
How in the world were there 48 points scored in this game?
Pick 6. I want to say there was another turnover that gave Georgia a short
Kirby,
field.
there's 480 yards of total offense combined in this football game.
Yeah,
and they
Georgia
scored 48 points.
Georgia squatted on it.
No, they didn't. LSU won the time of possession battle, according to ESPN's box score.
I think Georgia kept getting short fields from turnovers, and Tim Jennings has a pick 6 in this game. There's one of your touchdowns. DJ Shockley obviously has his really good run that he scores for a touchdown, but either way.
Did Russell get knocked out of that game and Matt Flynn come in?
Yes.
I was in the nosebleed during this football.
I was like 3.
That was in the Georgia Dome.
Yeah, R.I.P. Some other names just to go through those really quickly. Oscar Delp, shout out. KJ Bolden, some other fantastic number 4s. I think that's everyone I had on my list, unless I'm missing someone.
I'm sure you are, but it's okay.
I apologize to whoever I miss.
Yeah, whoever's getting disrespected right about now, we apologize. Does C.J. Wiley make this list?
C.J. Wiley hasn't done enough yet.
I'm saying, does he? Will he?
I hope so.
I hope so too.
If he does, I mean, just
need it bad.
Yeah,
need it bad. All right, are you good?
I'm good.
I am good as well. We'll be back Monday.
Well,
is that when you want to go to work?
You asked me like, what?
Dude, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself over the next 5 days.
You don't have any hobbies or anything?
Not really. I used to have something that would kill a lot of time that I don't do it. So, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. Probably just hang out with my kids.
That's a good one.
Yeah, good thing to
spend quality time with the kids.
Go to the pool. Yeah. Stuff like that. All right. Appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button on your way out. Love you. Bye.